The Secretary of War tweeted today saying our military installations have been turned into gun-free zones, leaving our service members vulnerable and exposed. That ends today. As someone that was in the Marines, this sounds like a terrible idea, and I'm a big fan of the Secretary of War, big fan of Trump.
Our great republic was founded on a simple yet bold idea. Our rights as citizens are not granted to us by government, but instead by God. The Second Amendment to our Constitution enshrines the right of all citizens to carry weapons to protect themselves, their families, and their fellow countrymen. These warfighters, entrusted with the safety of our nation, are no less entitled to exercise their God-given right to keep and bear arms than any other American.
Okay, so this is where I was like really skeptical. I still am, but a little bit less so after hearing them out. So I was under the impression, like, are we going to take all the guns out of the armory and everyone has to walk around with their weapons and ammo and shit? Because we're going to start seeing some negligent discharges. They already happen way too often in the military. In the brief time, people are holding their weapons with ammo. Most of the time, you're not. And it happens way too much even just then. So if that's my issue, but it sounds like personal weapons. Let's watch and find out more.
Our warfighters defend the right of others to carry. They should be able to carry themselves. Recent events like what happened at Fort Stewart, Holloman Air Force Base, or Pensacola Naval Air Station have made clear that some threats are closer to home than we would like.
Okay, fair
enough.
enough.
In these instances, minutes are a lifetime.
Yeah.
And our service members have the courage and training to make those precious short minutes count. Before today, it was virtually impossible. Most people probably don't know this. It was virtually impossible for War Department personnel to get permission to carry and store their own personal weapons aligned with the state laws where we operate our installations.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, effectively, our bases across the country were gun-free zones. Unless you're training or unless you are a military policeman,
right,
you couldn't carry, you couldn't bring your own firearm for your own personal protection on to post. Well, that's no longer. The memo I'm signing today directs installation commanders to allow requests for personal protection to carry a privately owned firearm, with the presumption that it is necessary for personal protection.
I think that most of these motherfuckers would not be able to handle this, okay? They can only handling weapons in strict circumstances like training or when we're deployed and shit, okay? But nah, dude, So I do think that you got to be certain rank or something in order to be able to have the permission to do this. Kind of like alcohol on base, you know, you have to be a certain rank and age to drink alcohol. So you have to be 21, and then you have to be like, I think if you're 21 and you're like E3 and below, this is old rules, it might have changed. You can have like up to a 6-pack. That's it. You can't have any more than that. It's against the rules. You get NJP. If you're like, I think an E4, you can have one like bottle of liquor, a certain like milliliters. I can't remember what it is. And like, honestly, that makes sense, but we all just got drunk anyways. So maybe if there's some sort of rule, you know, based off of rank or something like that. But at the end of the day, I think that once guns are allowed, there's going to be people. I used to break the rules of alcohol. I drank alcohol when I was under 21 when I was in the military. And if there was rules about guns, I might have one. I don't know.
If a request is for some reason denied, the reason for that denial will be in writing and will explain in detail the basis for that direction. Again, the presumption is service members will be able to have their Second Amendment right on post.
Okay.
Not all enemies are foreign, nor are they all outside our borders. Some are domestic. Confirming your God-given right to self-protection is what I'm signing into action today.
This is controversial. He's signing it, huh? Sign that shit. There we go. He's signing it right there on camera. Cool. I'm concerned, honestly, but it's also cool at the same time. I had these very strong opinions about this going in, but I hadn't watched what he had to say yet. I just assumed that everyone was going to go to the fucking armory and start walking around with M16s. That's what I thought. I'm like, dude, that's going to be a disaster. No fucking way. But personal weapons, that's way less extreme than what I assumed.